Do you know, there was one person I wanted to get on here to the point where yesterday I was tearing my hair out, and I know this man has been very, very busy, and he's become almost like, well, not almost like, he's become a national hero. And this morning, as we were about to go to air, 2 minutes before, a great friend of mine, a good friend that I've got to know, I won't mention name in case he doesn't want me to mention him, said, we've got him. And I was so moved. And I frantically got our team together. This guy has become a voice, and he's a real Australian. He's a real warrior. The Liberal Party really gave him a difficult time because he stood up for some things that all of us are standing up for. Yesterday, I went down and I was inspired by Clive Palmer and what he said the other day in the media. I went looking for Clive down here at Sanctuary Cove, seeing if I could find him. That's how desperate I was. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great joy, my great privilege to introduce you, Craig Kelly. How are you, Craig?
Yeah, great to be with you, Pat.
Mate, I'm so glad you're on. No, you're right, mate. You've made my year.
Sorry about the communications. It has been a busy couple of days sort of thing. So we're spreading ourselves a bit thin on the ground. But look, it's a pleasure. Look, it's an honour to be on here with you, mate. That's the truth.
Craig, talk to us about what you're doing. Talk to us about how we can help you. I know you're out there. I use this phrase in a nice way. You're sticking it to them, but you're doing more than that. You're representing people of Australia. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what the party's doing, because we want to get behind you.
Well, look, firstly, I was elected. I've been almost 12 years as a member of the federal parliament, and I got to the stage earlier this year where the Liberal Party that I'd sworn an allegiance to, I felt had walked away from me, and it had walked away from the allegiance. There's this document called What We Believe in the Liberal Party. It starts off, the inalienable rights of all Australians. And I just felt that was being violated. And I just couldn't sit by on the backbench and just stay mute and not speak out. So I had no other alternative than to resign as a member of the government, to resign my commission positions, because you can't have those committee positions that give you an extra salary if you're not a member of the government. So I had no alternative than to walk away. And my original thought was, look, I'm happy to run as a bit of a maverick independent in my seat. I'll do my best I can to uphold the values that I believe in for the rest of this parliamentary term. And I'll run as a maverick independent in my seat and try and get home one way or the other. But since then, that was back in February this year, I've seen my country change in ways. It's not my country anymore.
It's all right, Craig. Yep. It's all right, brother. I know how you feel.
So I had no alternative. There was no alternative than to go and link up with the United Australia Party, because they give us the firepower to fight. Right? We've got the reality is the system is stacked against all the minor parties. The incumbent parties, the Labor and the Liberal parties, get enormous. They've worked out the system where they get enormous taxpayer funding to run election campaigns. And the minor parties struggle to get a look in. So the only way that I thought that I could get in and fight back was with Clive. And so Clive gives us the resources. He gives us the resources to fight. And I tell you what, we're coming after him in every single seat around the country. We've got 151 seats. Within a week, we're going to be the largest political party in this nation by membership. And we're going to run in every one of these 151 seats, and we're going to stick it right to them. We're going to take it right up, because both parties have Australia down. And with the exception of my good buddy George and a few other people in Parliament, most of them have let the nation down, and they betrayed the nation because they are not speaking up. Like, to think here in New South Wales that you've got both political parties that not only want to close the doors to the churches and the other houses of worship, but they now have a policy that they want to have someone on the door of a church.
Correct.
That says as you walk up to the church, the doors of the church have for history been open to everyone, have been the refuge of where people go. They want people to stand at the church and say, show me your medical papers. And if you haven't got the right medical papers, no, you have to be turned away. Are you kidding me? Are you
Not going
kidding
to
me
happen
that
on our shift, Craig.
this is happening in my country? That's right. So, yeah, if that's the type of country you want, where someone stands at the door of a church and turns people away, go and vote for the major parties.
Yep.
Say nothing, just go along with it. And that's what the majority of my former colleagues are doing in Parliament, just sitting there silent, not even putting up a fight to argue against this. Well, I'm not going to sit on my watch and just let this happen. I'm going to fight with every fibre that I have to show that this is wrong, this is un-Australian, and this shouldn't be happening.
Do you know, I often use that quote where it says, for evil to prosper, all good men need to do is stay silent. This is why, Craig, I have not understood the silence of church leaders. They could turn this around in a heartbeat. You know, I know of one instance where one tweet went out and Gladys Berejiklian completely changed their mind. If we only understood that if we rallied together and said enough is enough, and again, I get ticked off, so if I overstep the mark, Craig, correct me. I'm sick and tired of them being afraid of their fringe benefits taxes getting taken away. I'm sick and tired of them hiding behind ScoMo's grants that he hands to them. We need to stand up for the people that are losing their jobs. And I want to say this. Church is not just where you put your bottom on a Sunday morning. Churches are the youth groups. I got a little girl in Sydney that I can't see, and it breaks my heart. And I've got a woman without a kid telling me as a father what I can and can't do. We got two women in this country in state premiers that are telling us what to do with our kids and they don't even have any. That's why I'm so grateful for you, Craig Kelly. And how can we take this fight to them? Look, I want to encourage everyone. Get out there. Get behind George. Get behind Pauline. Sign up for Craig's membership. Get in there. We need to show that we are not tolerating this anymore. Anyway, the floor is yours, Craig. I'm sorry.
Look, I've got the greatest respect for Pauline Hanson and her One Nation Party. I've got greatest respect for the Liberal Democrats, that what they're trying to do. Campbell Newman up in there, more strength to you, Campbell. I've got the greatest respect for a lot of the other minor parties. There's GAP and there's so many others that are trying new things and saying we've got to break the system. And look, if you join those parties, great, stick with them. Okay, we want diversity of voices in this. It's good to have diversity of voices, but the reality is that United Australia Party, we're going to have the firepower. Right? And we're going to unleash firepower at the next election. It's just simple. We put freedom over fear, we put liberty over lockdowns, and we put freedom of choice over coercion. That's it. Well,
what do you need from us? What do you need from us on a practical level? Be right up front, brother.
I want people to get politically active. Right? The only way that we can reverse this, the only way that we can change the direction our country is going, is the people that have never been politically active in their life make a stand and say, this ain't going to happen on my watch. That I'm going to, in 20 years' time or whatever it is, I don't want my kids or grandkids to come up to me and say, oh, what did you do when, they took away all our freedoms? So the first step I'd say, join a political party. Now, look, I'm not going to, the other guys are all fine, but with the United Australia, join us. We're going to have, I said, very soon we'll be the largest political party by number in this country. We're going to run in every one of those 151 seats. And like the book says behind me, we're going to throw them all out. We got, a lot of bad things that happen that we can't undo. But we can make sure that this never happens to our kids and our grandkids. And we can make sure that the type of that we inherited, that we also pass on.
Craig, what I love about you, you're not scared to wear your heart on your sleeve, and that's why the people of Australia love you. You've been so vocal out there, and you put yourself out there, and I do believe you guys have got the firepower. I want to encourage everyone. I want to say what you can't say, or maybe, I don't know whether you can or can't, but get out there, sign up for memberships, get involved, email his office. Listen, I know how hard it is to find this guy, but I tell you something, when I want something, I'll go after it. And I know, Craig, that you're a voice crying in the wilderness. And I believe that the good Lord put you in this country for such a time as this. And I've got to say also, I appreciate Clive. I know Clive's a polarising figure, just as I am. But that's what makes people stand up and take notice. And Craig, on a practical level, tell us what to do. How do we sign up to the party? What can people do? Give us a practice.
Hijack your prayer session for political purposes.
No, go for it, mate.
The United Australia Party, we've got a website. Go to the party's website, sign up as a membership, sign up as a member. That's the first step, what you can do. Secondly, speak out. Speak out with your friends, your relatives. What is really upsetting me a lot about what's happened is the divisiveness that this is causing our society. There's people that are on the side of totalitarians. We've seen this petty bureaucratic nature come out in a lot of people that love to boss people around, that love to scream abuse. I've never seen abuse screamed like this. The abuse that I've personally seen, the nasty, vile, language and personal abuse. We've got to get away from that. That's not Australia. So I'd encourage, firstly, sign up. Secondly, speak out. Do your own research. Don't listen to these. I'll tell you, I'm a politician for 12 years. I'll tell you, most of the time, well, they say when a politician's moving his lips, he's telling you lies. To watch these press daily from our state premiers, I have to restrain myself not from picking up something you want to throw at the television set when they just go off, and you can't hear me yelling and screaming, they're lying up there in Sanctuary Cove, the way I get upset about them. But look, people have got to become politically active. It's now our turn to protect the freedoms of this country that we inherited. There's no standing or letting someone else do it, or she'll be right, mate. I'll tell you, it won't be. If this continues, it won't be right, mate. We've seen the policies in Israel. These policies. If we think, let's go along with it, and they'll give us back a few crumbs of freedom, and it'll all be okay. I'm telling you, it won't. They're just going to get more draconian. They're going to get more harsh, and the only way we can stop this is to fight back, be vocal, and get politically active.
Craig, I said earlier in this year when I started to get myself in a bit of trouble with all this coming out and taking a swing at things, and I said the lockdowns are going to be faster, furious, with less cases, and it was right, because it wasn't about protecting health, it was about governmental control. And what I find is, the fatality rate, the numbers don't lie, and people have been duped, they've been scared, and I think voices like yours really, really, we need you in that. We need to get behind you. Craig, is there anything you'd like to add before we go? I know you're a busy guy. I know you got any.
I just say thank you, everyone, for the opportunity. We've got a great country. We've got to fight this, keep it. And it's now. There's no excuse. It's to the battlefields. It's to the front lines. Get involved. There's not love you to join the United Australia. If not, join one of the other minor parties. Just get politically involved, and we've got to take this fight right up to them. We've got to stop what's happening. We've got to make sure this never happens again.
Correct. Craig Kelly, thank you so much, man. It was like the midnight hour, but you were here, and if I see Clive up here at Sanctuary Coast, I'm going to give him a big hug. It'll scare the life out of him, but I'll give him a big hug. And we're going to, guys, get behind Craig Kelly. Thank you so much, Craig, and God bless you. Let me pray for you. Father, I pray for Craig. I pray that you would raise him up as a voice and continue to raise him up. Lord, I pray we would turn the tide of this country around. Father, I pray that you would cause things that need to be exposed. Lord, I pray that you bless him, protect his family, protect his party, and continue to raise him up to be a leader and a voice. We pray for Pauline. We pray for Malcolm Roberts. We pray for all of these leaders, for Tony over there, Father, in AFL. We pray for Tanya, for every single one, Lord, that's been on here today. And I thank you for it, Lord. Now, guys, we're not over. Listen, I want to thank every one of you. Craig, thank you so much. My brother, we just got to, you're a blessing, mate. And I look forward to catching up with a meal with you soon. I'll cook you a good Italian dinner.
Let's tear down that plastic wall that exists between the New South Wales and Queensland state. To see that on Father's Day was just a disgrace. It made me sick.
Yeah. I was down there a week after, and it broke my heart. I was down there with our kids, and it was like one of the owners there was crying. He said, Pat, they've like got the Berlin Wall here, and this is not right. This is evil to the core. Thank you, Craig Kelly, for being a voice and for being a fighter. God bless you, my friend.
Thanks.